And so we say, if you see with two eyes, you will recognize that this is a misguided effort. Libya, under the new regime, is sending weapons, and it is likely that high-tech weapons that the Libyan army used to have would find their way into Syria. NATO will say, we didn't send it, it came from Libya. As these high-tech weapons come into your hands and you start using them, there will be an escalation of the conflict in Syria. High-tech weapons are also going to come from Saudi Arabia and Qatar, which seem to be hell-bent, doing everything they can possibly do to bring down the regime in Syria and make Syria another Libya. Perhaps this is the fulfillment, one more time, of the prophecy of Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, and I hope you're listening to me in Syria, because you know very well that Saudi Arabia is financing and Saudi Arabia is sending weapons. And Saudi Arabia is ruled by people who came from Najd. Saudi Arabia has Hijaz and has Najd. Hijaz is to the west and Najd is to the east. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam is in Medina. And he says, Allahumma barik lana fi Shamina wa Yamanina. Oh Allah, put blessings for us in our Sham and our Yemen. And they asked, what about Najd? 3 times. And he said, from Najd, pointing in the direction of Najd, he says, from there would be the horns of Shaitan, Qarn al-Shaitan, and tribulations. And the rulers of Saudi Arabia today, the Saudi Wahhabi rulers of Saudi Arabia, are Najdi. He pointed to the east, and he said, from there will come Qarn al-Shaitan, the horns of Satan. And so I ask of you, who say that you are waging a legitimate jihad in Syria today, can the horns of Satan be part of a legitimate jihad? Have you got no sense? Saudi Arabia is in this struggle up to its neck, the insurrection in Syria, and therefore the Qarn of Shaitan is involved with it. Qatar has suddenly risen up as a Zionist state. It is hosting Al Jazeera and the evidence mounts every day that Al Jazeera is a sister of CNN. Every time there's an Arab Spring, an insurrection or a rebellion or something, Al Jazeera is there to add fuel to the fire, to try to ensure that the struggle is successful and the Zionists achieve their objective. So the dust is no longer there in our eyes, and we can see plainly what Al Jazeera is, a Zionist front organization. Qatar was chosen, little Qatar, which yesterday was only taking care of sheep and goats and diving in the sea for pearls, is now hosting the 2022 World Cup. That could not have occurred without Zionist support, unless you are blind. And you are taking money and you are taking weapons from Qatar, and you want to tell me this is a